Today I am going over a lot of stuff. My students are going to be writing an annotated bibliography for their next exercise, which will be due on Thursday. And I started talking about it briefly in class last week, but a majority of my students were absent. I kind of understood why. It's the day before Halloween. An essay was just due, and most of them did turn in their essay either by email or in person, but I did ask for a hard copy later on. The things that I'm planning to cover today in class are annotated bibliography, plagiarism, MLA citation and works cited page, the formatting of it, and if there's still time after that, I'm going to be going over integrating quotes. But here's the thing. Plagiarism is something that I haven't covered but briefly mentioned in passing, and this assignment is a research-based paper, so they will be using other sources, and I do need to talk about it before they end up plagiarizing. So I have a list of that. I kind of have like a little cheat sheet for myself about the 5 degrees of plagiarism. I also am going to talk about citations because it kind of goes hand in hand in that essence, as far as providing credit to a work that they took advantage of or utilized in their essay. Which helps me segue into the annotated bibliography, which is just going to be summary based for them, and kind of like a sentence or two, ask them what or how it will work for them as far as, what was the word? The annotated bibliography will help them do the research that they need to do and summarize it for themselves so they can look back into it. They can skim it in this essence and start highlighting certain quotes that they will be using in their essay, but this is not asking them to quote, which will be the last thing that I will be covering. So there's a lot of things going on. I do have a couple of exercises. I do have an exercise in mind where they will be citing a certain text, which I need to take a bunch of markers for them to do it on the board and get them to practice doing that. Beyond that, I'm also going to advocate for Purdue OWL because I utilize it all the time, and I'm going to link it on my PowerPoint for them. I do also have some videos to show them as far as plagiarism and annotated bibliographies, which I will link in the description below. This will also give me a chance to ask my students how they feel about this next assignment and answer any questions that they may have, because this assignment is going to be a little bit bigger than all the other ones that they've done, and they're going to be doing a lot more work, which is what I'm trying to help them to achieve through the annotated bibliography. And they're following assignments, which is the exercises. The second exercise is a proposal, which I still have to type up. And the third is just a thesis statement and an outline. So if they did the annotated bibliography and the proposal, they should already start having an outline for their essay, which will make it easier for them to type up. And then it's Thanksgiving week. So this progression is going to go by a little faster. I do want to integrate in sometime in this, emphasize the writing process, because after they turn in their third essay, we only have about a week and a half, 2 weeks max, before their revised 2 essays and reflection essay is due. So a lot is going on right now. But as of now, my students will be learning a little bit more instead of me letting them write. Well, I'm still letting them write, but besides that point, that is it for this class, for this part of the teaching log. I will be back afterwards and kind of discuss what worked and what didn't work. I had initially planned to go over a lot of things in class, but I realized how many things I was going to go over that I actually scaled it back a little bit. I did open it up with a plagiarism overview, and I did show them a video of YouTuber cartoonist who has plagiarized in the past and mentioned how he plagiarized and how he got caught every single time and how that affected him in his class and how it significantly altered his grade. And I think it was comical, but it did shed some light on his plagiarism stuff. And then I talked about the different degrees of plagiarism as far as like recycling your own work and from recycling your own work to copying and pasting and what happens in between that. I also started talking about citation, like parenthetical citation and works cited citation, because their next assignment is an annotated bibliography, and I did show them a really brief 2-minute video on what is an annotated bibliography, and I showed them examples of annotated bibliographies from publications and my own work as well. And I showed them approximately how long it would be for them, and I opened up Purdue OWL to show them that there is always going to be a way to cite a certain text, which will help them understand it. And from there, I showed them how to format their works cited page on Microsoft Word. I had provided a bunch of links for my students to look at if they have any confusion about that. And then I had about 15 minutes left, so I broke them all off into groups, and I had them cite any chapter or reading in previous texts of New Voices and Wings, and had them write the citation on the board while I would type them up and show them and make sure that they had the proper punctuation within that. I did allow my students to ask me questions about their assignments, and they did ask certain questions as to how long the assignment would be, approximately how many sources it would have. And it seems like my students are understanding what it is that I'm going for. I have provided them several samples and templates, so they should be able to do that. As far as grading these assignments, I'm going to check if they have 3 sources and if it has a proper citation, if it has a summary that makes it easy for them and myself to know what it is that they're talking about, and then how they're going to apply it. So it's not going to be that hard to grade these assignments, but it will be something that I will be looking for. And if their citation is wrong, I'm going to talk them down a little bit of points, because I have gone over how to cite and I have provide them all the resources that they need, and it will actually help them apply this to their 3rd essay. But overall, I think today's class was really well. It was a little bit more lecture based, but I did invite them to talk as far as what they thought plagiarism is and how a works cited is, and had them discuss and work in groups to actually write a citation. Will help enforce this technique for them. But next class, I will be going over arguments, writing a proposal, and integrating quotes, because I think it will be a really good transition to those things for their assignments. But that is all for this teacher log. Until next time.